Hello, welcome to Horseshoe Politics. Today is September 15th, 2020, and this video is the second video in a two-part series where I talk about how either candidate could win the presidential election without winning any of the Rust Belt states. Yesterday's video talked about how Biden could win the 2020 presidential election without any of the Rust Belt states, but in today's video we're going to be talking about how Trump could win the election without winning any of these four states: Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If you don't know what the Rust Belt states are, I explained what those states were and why they were important in yesterday's video. So if you want to know more about that, just watch that video, and then after you watch that, then come to this video. But since we're talking about if Joe Biden wins the entire Rust Belt, we're gonna shade those all in blue right off the bat, because we're talking about what can Trump do to win the election, even without winning any of the Rust Belt states. And I'm just gonna say right off the bat, it is not easy for Trump to win without any of those four states. He needs the Rust Belt pretty badly if he wants to win this election, and I'm going to show you why in this video. The whole reason why Trump won the election in 2016 was because he was able to flip three of these four states that traditionally voted Democrat. He was able to flip them to his side: Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. They all were expected to go for Hillary Clinton easily, but in a surprise turn of events, they went for Trump. And that's the only reason why Trump was able to get above the 270 mark in the Electoral College. Otherwise, Clinton would have won. If Clinton had won the Rust Belt, Clinton would have won the election. But let's get into the actual video and talk about what Trump could possibly do to win the election without the Rust Belt. But it is not easy. Trump should not give these states up to Joe Biden if he wants to win. He needs to fight hard in these states. They're gonna really matter. So let's actually get into it now. First, let's shade in Trump's safe states. So these are the states that almost no doubt in my mind Trump's gonna win them. Montana, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, they all voted really heavily for Trump in 2016, so there's no reason why he's not going to win them again. Same with the Dakotas, North and South, and Nebraska, other than 2nd Congressional District. Kansas, Oklahoma, also Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, and I'm missing something, Alaska, yeah. So these are all the states that are safe for Trump. No matter what, he's going to win them. But that's only 125. That's not even half of the way to the 270 mark. So he has a lot of work to do from here. Now let's shade in all the Democratic states. And this is why it's really hard for Trump to win without the Rust Belt. Yeah, that was an accident. But let's shade in the safe states for Democrats for Joe Biden. The entire West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington, as well as most of the East Coast: Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and D.C., Washington, D.C., as well as Hawaii. And then there's also Illinois. That's already 209 electoral votes there. That's over two-thirds of the amount of votes he needs to win the presidency. And this here is why it's so hard. Wait, I forgot New York. 238. He's already 80%, more than 80%, maybe even, of the way to the 270 number. And these are only the safe states, the states that are basically guaranteed to go for him, plus the Rust Belt. But when you have only the Rust Belt and the safe states, you're already at 238. And that means he only needs 41 more electoral votes. Not even 41, 31, sorry, my math was off there. Or 32 if you want to get a majority, but 31 if you want to tie things up. But he needs 32 if he wants to get a majority in the Electoral College. That's really easy from here because we haven't even shaded in states like Virginia, Colorado, and New Mexico, which all went for Clinton in 2016. And they're likely, almost certainly, going to go for Biden in 2020. Reason being that Biden is just doing better than Clinton did in 2016 in this year's election, and that's what all the polls have been showing. As of now, in the middle of September, Biden's doing several points better in September of 2020 over Trump than Clinton was doing in September of 2016 over Trump. But if you shade in these three states also, Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia, you're already at 265 votes, which is only 5 away from the magic 270 number. Let's fill in some states for Trump now. He has to win Texas and Iowa, Ohio. There's no choice. Same with Georgia and North Carolina and Florida. He needs to win all these states. He needs to win if he's not going to win the Rust Belt, he has to win every other state he won in 2016 for sure. Otherwise, it would be over him. Including Arizona. Arizona is basically a swing state now, but if Trump wants to win without the Rust Belt, he literally has no option but to win in Arizona also, as well as the entire South. He can't give up Florida, he can't give up Arizona. Even then, he's only at 258. That's still 12 short of getting a majority of 270. Nevada, the thing is, because he isn't able to win any of the Rust Belt states in this scenario, he has to win states that traditionally in recent elections have not at all voted for Republicans. Nevada has not voted for Republican in the general election, presidential election, since like the George Bush era, since like 2004 or something. I'm pretty sure Nevada went for Obama both elections, 2008 and 2012, and it went for Clinton in 2016. So it's really hard for Trump to flip this back to Republicans. And then he'd also have to win like these congressional districts and New Hampshire, and only then would he be able to get above 270 without the Rust Belt. This just shows here why it's really hard for Trump to win without the Rust Belt. He doesn't have, I mean, he has a lot of safe states in terms of number of states, but all these safe states for Trump, they simply don't have a lot of electoral votes. Idaho only has 4, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, they all only have 3. These states don't have a lot of people. The electoral votes just don't add up to that high of a number, even when you add up all these states in like the Midwest and the South and the Northwest. But like for Joe Biden, he has California, he has New York, he has Illinois, and in this scenario he has Pennsylvania. Those 4 states alone add up to over 100 electoral votes, and that's why Joe Biden has a pretty big advantage in this election. He is able to easily win a lot of the states, give a lot of electoral votes, and Trump is not able to win a lot of the states that have more electoral votes. Florida is something that he definitely needs, because that's the only state with a lot of electoral votes that's a swing state as of now. Texas is becoming a swing state slowly, but I think Texas is still going to go for Trump regardless. I don't think it's going to flip. I don't think it has any chance of flipping towards Biden just yet. So Texas is fine for Trump, but he has to win Florida, Arizona, and Nevada. Nevada, a state not won by Republicans since 2004. He has to win that, and Maine, and New Hampshire, if he wants to win the election without the Rust Belt. I don't think there's any chance of Trump winning the first congressional district. I'm just going to put that back to blue, but that's still barely enough. Even when you give him Nevada and New Hampshire, which are in all likelihood, they're not going to vote for Trump. They're going to vote for Biden. Hillary Clinton won these states in 2016. Biden's in all likelihood going to do better than Clinton did. So even in this scenario, Trump only has 272. He barely edges out a victory in this scenario. And that's with these states that voted for Clinton in 2016. This right here shows why the Rust Belt is really important in this election, especially for Trump, even more so for Trump than for Biden. Trump needs the Rust Belt to win this election. If he doesn't win the Rust Belt, he has basically no shot at winning this election. The only reason why he won in 2016 was because he was able to flip these Rust Belt states, but if Biden flips these Rust Belt states back, that's all he needs to win the election, basically. Just flip these 3 states back, and Biden's good. That's why I was talking about in yesterday's video, Biden has a lot better of a chance of winning this election. He's in a lot better of a position if you just look at the Electoral College map. But I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you understand pretty well now why the Rust Belt matters a lot for this election, and why Biden is in a lot better of a position to win this election than Trump is, just from the fact that the Rust Belt is necessary for Trump, but Biden can still find a way to win without the Rust Belt. Biden can win without the Rust Belt. For Trump, it's near impossible. That's, I think, should be the takeaway from these 2 videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's video, and I hope you tune in for tomorrow's video. I'll see you then. Bye.